I wanted to open with the Iraq situation because I was talking to people today, and not that many people understand it. A lot of people have misconceptions about what's going on. What's ISIS? All of a sudden they're hearing this name, ISIS, ISIS, which is the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, which is a group that wants to exactly do that, become an Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. And it is from Syria. A lot of this is happening from Syria. So I wanted to talk to Hassan Twiet, the president of the Syrian American Council in L.A., and to quote Seinfeld, it's almost like, who are these people? How are you, Hassan?
Oh, how you doing, Peter? Thanks for having me.
So this is a coalition of people who are obviously not happy with the government, but I was shocked to find out that they're very wealthy, that they got revenue. They are getting revenue by selling electricity to the government from captured power plants.
Yes, this group was started in Iraq, and they were supported by the Syrian and the Iranian government way back about 5 years ago. And 3 years ago, when the revolution started in Syria, they found a safe haven. So they moved to Syria, and the Bashar al-Assad government gave them a whole province. So they made the people believe that you only have Bashar or Maliki in the Iraqi government, or you can have supported a group like ISA. So either this group or you can live with my dictatorship. There's no revolution. So people wanted democracy, wanted freedom, and unfortunately the West did not support them. I mean, I was very blown away that it could be this massive, big province that was taken in a few hours and 60,000 soldiers left. So somebody had to resign. Somebody had to take a charge. So we left with this group that is very wealthy. And actually in Syria, they took the oil and electricity by the Euphrates River, by the dam, and they're selling it to the government, the Syrian government.
Which is
shocking. They're very wealthy. They're very equipped. And unfortunately, the two governments, they said, okay, you know what, we can actually make them grow, so we can actually give legitimacy to ourselves. And that's what's happening with Maliki right now. He says, you know what, I need a state of emergency so he can have a prolonged presidency, and he can actually rule as a dictatorship. So we created a dictatorship both in Syria and in Iraq.
Well, let me ask you this. There are 430,000 soldiers under Saddam Hussein I didn't realize were displaced, and these guys make a living being military.
Sure.
So they're displaced. So the guys fighting now are not ragtag rebels. These guys actually have intelligence, information. They know geographical information. This is not, a lot of people think this is, like you just said, some jihadists who are driving around with a Jeep with some guns. But these guys were trained military, correct?
Correct, because what they did is, again, when they went to Syria, ISIS actually started in Iraq, and they used to call them ISA. It's the Islamic State of Iraq. But when Syria's revolution started, they included Sham. Sham means Syria in Arabic, so they included the S at the end, so they call them ISIS. They got trained, street fightings in Syria. They know how to steal weapons, cut roads, make money. And when the time came in, they went to Iraq and they took over. So we have to look at the root cause of this problem. The root cause is not because they are strong, they are wealthy. If you look, why did the Iraqi soldier left? Because they don't believe in their own sectarian governments. We turned Maliki into sectarian government, and we've seen this one here. I've been watching TV for the last 3 years closely, and everybody said that the Syrian problem will spill over to the neighboring country. We, as a Syrian American, we send statement after statements to Robert Ford and to the State Department, and we made so many events. We said, look, this is not going to stop in Syria. It's going to spill over, and this is not the end. That's what I'm afraid. This is not the end.
The other thing is, for their wealth, they're also taking humanitarian and commercial operations over. They're taking property and money from Christians and Muslims wherever they go, correct?
Correct. You know, I mean, they confiscate land, they confiscate crops, they confiscate oil rigs, you name it, whatever it makes money. Follow the money. Follow money. They get support from the Syrian governments because it makes the Syrian Bashar a legitimate government because he's fighting the terrorist. Actually, he's not fighting the terrorist. There's not even a single bullet or a bell bombing that went where ISIS. And ISIS never killed one of the Bashar soldiers. So they're killing the Syrian people both. So it's not part of the web of the society in Syria or in Iraq. So I don't think they're going to be successful, honestly. It's just a phenomena that was just given to them right now, and it's a bubble that it's going to burst. I'm sure the Iranian will capitalize on it, and you will see, my opinion, I mean, I would love to write it down, that the Iranian will send soldier into Baghdad, and we're going to fight as an American. We're going to fight along with the Iranian to kick the terrorists.
Well, I hope you're wrong, but if you start reading deep today, and that's why I want to have somebody on, because I've heard a lot about this. I didn't know. You kind of know who they are, but you don't know how big the coalition is, how powerful they are, how well funded they are. But some articles I'm starting to see is Iraq 3.0, and you go, wait a minute, really? The president's trying to decide. I know he's got this laundry list of things he can do based on his advisors. How do you go after these guys?
I would actually, the way I would go, I would support the freedom and democracy. I will not support a government that is a dictatorship.
But how do you do? Tell me what that looks like. What does he do? If you're in there Monday, what do you do Monday?
What I would do Monday, actually, I would honestly, I would ask Maliki to resign and create a new government that is non-sectarian government. I will actually pressure Bashar, because until now we have not supported the freedom and democracy in Syria, and actually those people, they found a strength and capital in Syria, and that's how they went into Iraq.
Well, that's not happening Monday. You realize that?
Well, it's going to take a long struggle. It's not, the Syrian revolution has been 3 years, and we haven't paid attention to it as closely, and we've been screaming.
So you saw this coming from there. You saw this coming. This was pretty obvious.
We saw this coming, and just wait. It's going to spill to Lebanon, and it will spill to Jordan.
I'll talk to you again. We'll see how this plays out. President of the LA chapter of the Syrian American Council. Thanks, Hassan. Talk to you later. Hassan, Twiet.